Last time the Star Wars Chronicles, the Prophesied king. Our heroes, now 3, decided to continue their path to Star Blade. However, during the path, David and Cody continued their continuous bickering between each other, causing Mikey to leave temporarily due to that much arguing. Unfortunately, this would leave Mikey to get trapped in the school, where he there met a girl who had no friends, was a very friendly person, and they two became friends at the very moment. However, Mikey's time there was short, and so he decided to spend last moments there to help her find a friend. However, no one was willing to give her the chance. And what made it worse is that Joe, another bounty hunter, decided to go after him. Joe didn't later reveal that he is part of a member group called Team Magnet, who are a bunch of bounty hunters out to stop Mikey and David from getting to Starblade. However, with the new helps of Sora, who had her own ability, defeat Joe, and also reunite with David and Cody. However, Sora cannot come with the party, seeing that she doesn't really know the situation and it might be too dangerous for her. However, she decided to continue following them as she learns a new threat to following their path. Episode 5, The Puppet Master's Trap. The 3 are sitting nearby a mountainside as the morning sun brings light to a new day. They don't look any worse for wear as they manage to avoid enemies. Cody prepared the two for a mountain climb to get to their destination. And just how climbing this mountain will get us to a chasm in the ground. This mountain is the very thing that blocks us from this location. All we have to do is climb this thing and go through a forest. Before you know it, we'll be there. Right. Or you want to get a high enough place to see because we're lost. What? No, I know where we're going. Besides, unless one of the bounty hunters has a flying ability, we should be able to avoid them easier up there. I suppose it's a smart idea. But isn't there a cave system we can go through instead? Nope. Why would you ask? David bit his lip before he said another word. It was at this point Cody had some ideas. Are we afraid of heights, Emblem? David refused to say another word, so he just marched along and began to climb the mountain. Is that true? Maybe a little, but I'm willing to face it to complete the mission. That's the ticket. Now then, let's not waste another moment. Who knows who's been following us? They begin to climb the mountain as Cody lists off some ideas. David told him to stop talking, but Cody didn't listen. He just kept rambling on and on. Quite the imagination you got there, buddy. I'm just picturing a gallery of rogues for us. Great, you had to be a comic book junkie. Hey, comic books are a valid form of entertainment that get you through tough times. Right, Mikey? I wouldn't know. Most of the comic books I saw didn't seem interesting at all. He was right, you really are missing out on a lot of things. And here I thought I was always left behind. I looked selfish back there, didn't I? A little bit, but a little bit of a self-indulgence is healthy for a person. As long as it doesn't overtake your thought process, you should be fine. Of course. Isn't that right, the person following us? Both Mikey and David looked at him confused as he saw him move behind a rock. They've been following us ever since this morning. I'm surprised none of you noticed. Why didn't you tell us? A question for later. Right now we deal with this visitor. David brought out his flame bow as Mikey released his cosmic aura. Cody just picked up a small rock nearby, and they slowly walked towards the rock in question. They finally got close enough to attack, only to stop as they saw who it was. From the back of the rock jumped Sora, who put her hands up in distress before anything else happened. All of them looked confused as they saw her, and then they came to grip on what was happening.
Hey guys!
She tried to smile, then lighten the mood, but the mood was pretty grim anyway. They set up a small break area as they put her on a rock to interrogate. Mikey went first, seeing as he might have some insight in the situation. Sora, I get it might be your first friend in a long time, but why are you following us after we told you not to? In fact, isn't she supposed to be in school? Better yet, was anyone else following you? She seemed overwhelmed at first, but quickly composed herself as she wanted to answer one question at a time.
You see, the thing is that no one would know that I'm gone.
Go on.
The other thing is that I've come to warn you about another hunter coming after you. And as far as I'm aware, no one is following me.
Another hunter? You mean a guy from Team Magnet?
I don't know. He had a weird getup. And that was composed of armor and a red, worn-down cloak.
After describing him, both Mikey and David instantly realized who she was talking about. Don't sound like Team Magnet to me. No, it's Terry. Why would he be following us? David went even closer towards Sora with a determined look. What did he say to you?
Something about a deal he made?
What deal? Is it with Darky?
I don't know. I'm only telling you what I heard.
David walked a few paces back, giving her some space. How about you tell us who this Terry is? Mikey explained to them the situation, and they took them a minute to understand everything.
Sounds like he's going through a rough time. Is he dangerous?
Only furious to our understanding, though Terry is a bit of an enigma himself. So we should probably avoid him for now until we learn more about him, which means our primary goal has not changed. Still, it's something to look out for. Thanks for warning us, Sora.
Just help me out, friend.
Of course. Anyway, see you later. Try not to get in any trouble. The three of them waved by as they climbed up the mountain with new information. But before they did, Sora stopped them once more with a troublesome look.
You're gonna laugh, but I don't know how to get back.
David groaned after hearing this as the others looked a little amused himself. Come on, it's not that far from here.
Well, I was so determined to warn you guys, I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings.
All of them sighed and knew what needed to be done next. I mean, she did help me beat Joe the other day. And it wouldn't hurt to have another fighter on our team. And right now, we need to act quickly with most of the world after us. They turned toward the unamused looks. I suppose you can join the group.
Are you serious?
If you don't want to, that's fine. Sora's face gleamed with excitement.
I happily accept.
They still looked unamused, but they were too far into it to stop moving.
Alright, teammates, what's the first goal?
It's to finish climbing this mountain. She didn't look up to realize that they even got halfway up yet. Her face then turned distraught, knowing the workout. So continue the rigorous climb. It wasn't too difficult, but it was still tiring, and it took them most of the day to climb it. Dusk soon came, and they set up camp once more on a level rock they found around halfway up the mountain. So, genius, how much higher is this thing? Shouldn't be too much longer. Luckily, I heard it was a town on top. Don't know why people live there, they just do.
Probably get a look at this view. Seeing the sunset from this height is beautiful.
They all took notice of the sun following and awed at its beauty. It sure is pretty. I'm not gonna see that every day. Not really. Where I'm from, it's a daily occurrence. On Starvania?
What's Starvania?
Alright, we didn't go over what's happening with you, haven't we? Now that I think about it, that's kind of a bad thing. They then took the next few minutes of explaining the situation. Sora somehow managed to understand all the information.
So that's why you're fighting this sword thing.
Indeed, and we just sort of go from there after we get it. Which means I have to ask, do you wish to quit now?
Of course not. This doesn't change anything for me.
All of them were shocked to hear this.
Here's the thing. I already told Mikey this, but I haven't had anybody to be around for a couple of years at this point. I always felt like such an outcast by everyone because of my ability. So I feel like I should be with you guys who might stand me a bit. You'll be surprised that right now I feel more comfortable here than I felt back there.
Despite the fact that you barely know us.
Yes, but right now I had more interaction with you guys in this one conversation than I had with anyone in the past years. It's been so long since I had this feeling.
They started to understand Sora's problem, and they all nodded in understanding. Alright, then let's keep it going. What's your ability?
Don't know, but I can show it to you.
She lets out a bit of light from her arm with some confidence, and Cody studied it for a bit before an idea came to his head. That's it, your ability is solar.
Solar?
Pretty much means that you can use rays of light, similar to the ones like the sun, to attack your opponents. It can also act as a shield, as rays can reflect things. So that's how you blocked those bullets previously.
Finally, some confirmation.
Which means you're Sarvanian, right?
No, I don't think I am.
Wait, I thought only Sarvanians had abilities. They all turned to David as he was still listening to the conversation. Okay, I might have lied about that. But if I told you the truth about abilities, then your minds would literally blow up. Come on, we can take the truth. The other two nodded and David took a deep breath as he prepared his speech. There are actually a lot of people who can have abilities. Earthlings can have it, and so many other alien races.
There's more life out there?
Oh yeah, Do you think Sarvania is the only place with other life forms? This universe is vast and full of life. If I were to go any further, then we'll be here all day. And then get to the point. Who else has abilities? That's the thing about abilities. It's all about genetics. It's passed down from one generation to another. For example, my dad also had Phoenix.
But my parents don't have an ability.
It can also be a late bloomer as well. At the end of the day, to be completely honest with you, it's kind of lucky if you get one or not. Genetics help, but it's not always guaranteed. Science should find a way to not get one. Possibly. There's no telling for sure. However, that's a discussion for another time. We should really cut this short. It's getting late, and we need to wake up bright and early so we can try to avoid as many hunters as possible. They nodded and went into their respective tents. The next morning, they continued the climb. Sora kept with Cody, so asking questions about their ability.
Can you teach me how to use mine?
Once they get down this mountain. Speaking of which, how's the view, Emblem? Oh, hardy hard. Don't you dare make me look down.
Is he seriously afraid of heights? Even when his ability is a bird?
If it makes you feel any better, David, we all have fears. For instance, I'm afraid of shadows. I'm talking like down a creepy alleyway at night with the moon shining brightly on a dark figure. Okay, this is what we're doing now. I had acrophobia. I had a bad accident as a kid where a bat flew into my room and it really shook me.
In that case, I have puppophobia. I remember my grandma hoarding a lot of puppets, and each one, I swear, looked directly at me.
That would do it. See, we all have fears. I know, but it's as the oldest here, it's kind of embarrassing. I'll laugh, but who really cares?
Not me, that's for sure.
They then approached the top of the mountain where they saw a town that was mentioned earlier. There were people out there, but all of them walked around like they were a bunch of zombies. The air was unsettling, and all of them could tell something was very wrong with this place. Not the most welcoming places, huh? Probably because of the thin air. I had a bit of a hard time getting deep breaths myself. Let's not waste too much time here. From a distance was one of the taller buildings, where in the window someone was watching their every move. They were smirking with glee as the girl continued to study their movements. She had magenta hair, dyed hair, and a black cloak that covered all of her body except her hands and head. She seemed to be also on the phone with someone.
Oh, boss! Guess who just came to my town?
Adriana, are you sure?
As sure as a showman is getting paid. They just came in as I predicted they would.
Well, you got lucky. Regardless, can I trust you to beat them? Both Joe and Dark not lost to those imbeciles.
Trust me. Though my ability isn't killer, it's a perfect trap to send them to an early grave.
Positive?
If the reason behind my hiring was to be a cheerleader, then just go ahead and say it. I understand your skepticism, but you've got to trust me on this.
We need that prize.
Stop acting like I failed already, and have faith. I got this.
She hangs up the phone and continues to watch them afar. They pass by each and every building to see one brain-dead person to the next. But Cody's eye looked at one particular building. He grabbed Dave's attention real quick to notify. Yeah, we should probably get some refreshments before we go. How about we don't? This place is seriously giving me bad vibes.
I don't know, I'm kind of parched.
As am I. It was a long climb to get here. David rolled his eyes. Fine, we'll give him a go. He entered the bar, Cody pointed out. It was about as dead-looking as everywhere else, and the bartender didn't even greet them as they entered. At the counter, they all agreed on getting some water to drink. Good day. Can you give us 4 waters, please? The bartender didn't say anything. It's almost like he didn't even notice their arrival. David snapped his fingers at the guy's eyes, and he stood there still. They were about to leave, seeing how this was going nowhere, but they stopped as a dude's movements became creepily as he leaned over to them. Sorry, all out of water. How are you out of something that makes up 71% of the Earth? I can interest you with some iced tea. Whatever, just give us a drink, please. He then take out 4 glass cups and a pitcher of tea creepily. They just watched him uncomfortably pour them out and hand each one to them. They all just took it, downed it fast, and put it on the counter as David laid some money on the table. Right, thank you for the tea. We'll be going now. Now hold on. I think you should really come see our show. What show? The show that our mayor wants to present to us. She's really amazing at it. Thanks for the offer, but we really should be on our way. Some of the other guests stood in the way of the door, but not budging at all. No, we insist. You're not going to get another show quite like our amazing and charming mayor. The others nodded their head in understanding, unsettlingly. These people are batshit insane. If you watch the show, we let us go. They once again nodded their heads unsettlingly.
It could be a hunter.
Do you want to risk that just to get out of here? Doesn't seem to be that much of a choice. Let's just get this over and done real quick. With that, the guest led to the taller building where the show was at. As he entered, it just looked like an old 18th century theater that rich people went to. They led him down to the first row, giving him the seat to sit. At that, they reluctantly did and just sat there awkwardly. Check one off the bucket list. I went to a theater. This wasn't the kind of theater I had in mind.
Wait, you've never been to a movie theater?
Sorry, you'll find this man hasn't done anything with his life. Alright, I get it. My orphanage didn't let me do a whole lot. Shut up, the show's about to start. The lights turn off except for the one circle light in the center of the stage. They heard a male voice over the background on the speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we here at Phoenix Mountain Town would like to present to you our fine mayor and her talent. Please give a warm round of applause as the show is about to start. Darky did so as the curtain went up to reveal a small booth at the center where the light was at. They then heard a feminine voice as 4 puppets that oddly looked like all 4 of them appeared in the middle of the booth.
This story is based on true events that are occurring right now as we speak.
Sordin began to breathe heavily as Cody was trying to calm her down right next to them. The story continued.
There once was this odd biker fellow who was tasked to find a boy who was believed to be a king of a long-lost kingdom. He traveled through the vast deserts of Arizona until he found one in a small town just off the path of Phoenix. There, the boy was seen running away from his past life, and the 2 fateful people encountered each other not long after. It was a joyous day as they began their quest to find a blade infused with the will of the stars.
Hey, David, this is pretty much our story, isn't it? This place just went from horrifying to we need to get out of here now.
Along their quest, they encountered many foes. One as a man with 2 souls living in one body, constantly trying to find control. Another as it was a man with red eyes, able to appear in the future to see their demise. And last was an old Western-style cowboy, prime and ready to fight. But with these foes came allies. A mechanic that was able to not only lead their path, but also be capable of identifying abilities. The other was a loner girl who was able to shoot beams of light from her wrist, just like so. They were a multi-crew, yet they were ready to face their greatest challenge yet. For Team Magnet has many members.
The booth was tossed aside to reveal Adriana with a glamorous pose.
And I'm one of them.
The 4 of them got up from their seats and prepared to fight, except for Cody and Sora, who were still trying to get over the puppets. Mikey and David went onto the stage as they investigated their foe. Another Team Magnet grunt. Don't you guys ever quit?
I must admit, it was rather impressive that you managed to beat my fellow co-workers. But you'll find I'm not quite like them.
It doesn't matter what you're like, we will beat you.
I wouldn't be too sure of that.
She then let out some string from her fingers, and it latched onto David easily. He tried to pull it away, but they wouldn't budge. Cody noticed this, and he immediately began to panic. Watch out! Her ability is Puppeteer, and allows her to use string to control her opponent. Would have been nice if you had told us that sooner. How do I get out of these things? That's the thing. Once it's on you, you're pretty much trapped. No, there has to be a way. Maggie didn't want to use his punch to break the string, but it too did not prevail. Fine, if attacking the string doesn't work, then I'll attack you. He didn't want to attack Adriana, but she kept her smug look as she forced David to appear right in front of her. Mikey stopped as he noticed this, and he doubled back as he didn't want to hit him.
Not so fast, Michael. If you want to fight me, you'll have to attack your friend in the process.
Do it, Mikey. I can take... She yanked the strings back to get him to shut up.
Now, who told you could speak without my permission?
He then slowly turned to one of the lifeless people from earlier as his face grew dour and his limbs became motionless. Mikey was horrified by this look, and it only caused Sora and Cody to back away even further.
There, that's more like it. Another one for the collection.
What did you do to him?
Don't worry about it. Just another puppet with strings. Nothing abnormal about that.
Mikey bit his lip in rage and went for another attack. Cody warned him not to, but it was too late. In the process, he somehow dodged David and goes straight to her, but all it did was cause her to spawn more string and attach it to him. It wasn't too long before he became like David, cold and emotionless as he was now in complete control of Adriana.
Lucky me, 2 puppets for the price of 1. Shall we make it 4?
Cody knew the situation was dire, and he forced Sora alone out of the building as Adriana gave chase. They somehow managed to avoid Adriana's look as they hid behind a building. Sora finally caught her breath, and Cody did as well.
Why did it have to be puppets?
That's not what's important right now. Our friends are trapped by her.
What should we do?
Well, since your ability reflects objects, I think we stand a great chance against her. All we need to do is get up close and beat her until she lets him go. Sora then gave him an amused look.
Okay, great plan. Except you forgot the part where I'm afraid of those damn things.
Alright, no need to get snappy.
So, what's the actual plan?
You need to face your fear.
Are you nuts?
David did so he could help us climb this mountain. If you want to save them, then we need to do that as well.
You're only saying that because there aren't any bats around. What if it was a bat ability? Would you still do the same?
Of course I would, but I don't have an ability to do so. Stop thinking irrationally.
How about you be more considerate?
They both then took a second to think and quickly stopped their bickering before they continued to fight. Alright, let's just calm down for a moment.
Right, sorry. Things are just getting way too intense here. We need to really think of a strategy before we lose our heads as well.
Cody didn't thought for a moment, and then he figured out a new plan. That's it, you might as well call me a genius right now.
Why is that? And please don't tell me to face my fear.
You don't have to. What if I draw those puppets away from her? That way it would not only help you avoid them, but also give you a clear shot.
Are you sure she'll go after you? Based on that story, she knows I'm the bigger threat with my ability.
Not necessarily. I think she sees us equal threats. Me for my knowledge, and you for your ability. In fact, notice how she went for David first before Mikey. Sora recalled the fight, and it dawned on her.
David is older and has more experience.
Not only that, but Mikey is also the same age as you. She thinks about that both you and him will act on emotion before you think rationally. With that theory, we can deduce that I would be her bigger target because of my age and knowledge.
Not only that, but since she knows our story, she thinks that I don't know how to use my ability.
Exactly. You would catch her by surprise.
That might work. Great planning there, dude.
Hey, all I did was give you the tools. It's you who has to do the hammering.
But there's a problem. What if she brings more puppets to me?
With more thinking, Cody thought of one last point to his plan. If worse comes to worse, then don't look at them as puppets. The thing about fear, based on what I can understand, is that the only power it has is the power you give it. Just picture them as something else, like robots. Are you afraid of robots?
Not really.
Good. In that case, the plan is a go-go. He brought out his fist to her, hoping she would do it back. She did in the process, and she felt a little more confident after that. The next scene is Adriana in her room, as Mikey and David dangled by the wall, motionless like dolls. She was on the phone with the boss, and she seemed like even more excited than ever.
So, boss, remember when you had no faith in me?
Don't tell me you actually succeeded.
Yep. I have the 2 from the poster just dangled right next to me. It was quite easy. I'm actually surprised the other 2 lost to them.
Well, I'm glad you found it easy. Keep them right there. I'll come over to deal with them myself. Today is a great victory for Team Magnet.
You can say that again.
As she said that, a rock came flying as her phone and knocked the phone out of her hands. What's up, bitch? Wanna my friends go, or do I have to throw a rock at your skull?
Big talk coming from small prick. And I'm not just talking about height.
Cody's face then brimmed red after his statement. Okay, that's just lowbrow.
If you can't take it, then don't dish it.
She then spun some string from her hand and aimed it right at him. But it didn't land as Sora managed to block each one what appeared right in front of him.
Ooh, more puppets from my collection.
She then forced Mikey to give it up and sent them towards Sora. She was about to hyperventilate as they got closer, but Cody just put his body in front as bait to help her avoid eye contact. Come on, Adriana, you know I'm the bigger threat here.
Maybe so, but that doesn't change the fact that this is a 2v1 situation.
Then let's end this quickly then. Sora, now! She nodded and rushed by them with her eyes closed. She came directly towards Adriana. Adriana tried to attach her strings at her, but each one was deflected by Sora. She hit Adriana directly, forcing her back onto the window with Cody cheering.
We did it! We won!
All of a sudden, a bunch of people spawned in front of Sora, and she began to internally panic as it drew closer.
Don't be too confident just yet. I'm the legendary puppet master of Team Magnet. My skills are unmatched, and I'm not going to let a teenage boy and a preteen girl show me up here. Peterson wouldn't be pleased if I did so.
Peterson? She didn't answer back as to the question, only took advantage of the situation. She sent some strings to the panicking Sora, but still didn't land. She looked up to see Cody took the hit, and he slowly began to become motionless.
Cody, no!
Calm down, Sora. It's just robots. They're all robots.
You can't leave me alone with them. I can't imagine them as anything else.
Yes, you can. Look, I know we haven't known each other for long, but you're a part of this group now. Besides, if she gets you, I can't beat her. You're our last hope, Sora.
But the puppets!
You're just puppets. Just like bats are bats. I believe you can see that, and I believe you can save us. You wanna know why?
Why?
Because you're a part of this team. Then you are my friend. It was too late as the message fell short with Cody becoming completely emotionless. Sora took a minute to process what just happened as Adriana forced the puppets back a little.
Finally got rid of that loud mouth. All that is left is your little ray of sunshine.
She walked closer as Sora looked at the ground, seemingly in defeat.
I gotta hand it to you. There aren't very many who can deflect my strings. Even then, despite that skill, they all meet the same fate. Despite my ability being more of a supportive one, it is unbeatable.
Sora then spawned some more light from her hand and covered her arm completely.
Still more to give, huh? Very well. Let's end this farce.
Adriana sent the puppets at Sora once more, but with one more light, it blinded Adriana for her to see anything. As the light went away, she saw that all the puppets fall to the ground motionless. She tried to get them back up again, but it was to no avail.
What just happened?
Sora then turned to her face with a determined look.
This can't be the work of their ability. Once they're stringed, they are under my control. I can reflect anything back with my rays. Cody told me a few things about your ability before we fought. Like how you need to see the puppets before you can spawn them. I know that they're there, so that shouldn't change anything. That's another thing. They also work on a timer if they are defeated.
Adriana didn't realize what just happened.
You gotta be joking. You're telling me at the burst of light you had defeated all of them?
Sora then locked her back with her beam of light, and Adriana looked up at her shakingly.
Now, you're gonna let my friends go. You hear me? You don't threaten me.
More light spawned and would grow brighter and brighter. Adriana kept turning her eyes away from it, and she finally let go.
Okay, fine. You win. Have your stupid friends.
Adriana snapped her fingers, and the three of them went back to their normal selves. As it did, it took a moment before they realized they came back, but once they did, they got by Sora with all of them having an infuriated look. Adriana began to sweat even more, and she then made a mad dash to the exit as they looked at her intimidatingly.
Team Magnet will prevail. You'll see one day.
They then took a nice sigh of relief and went outside the building. As it did, Cody went up to Sora after giving her a pat in the back. See? Told you I had faith in you.
I'm glad at least one of us did.
We were able to see through the power puppet state. I'll admit, you might have gone a little overboard back there. But you gotta admit, that was badass.
I was only following Cody's advice.
Imagine I want to take that much credit for it. You are seriously downplaying yourself. Even then, you don't want to overdo it. It might make you become the person people see you as.
You're right. That's why I need proper guidance.
Of course, it won't help reach that. But for now, welcome to the team. Yes, indeed. Sora smiled with glee, and they continued their adventure as they grew closer together. Meanwhile, Adriana was seen in a different house, trying to calm herself down.
It's okay. She's just a child. You really have nothing to be afraid of.
As she was taking deep breaths, a door opened and revealed Joe walked through. Hey Adrian, Peterson couldn't be here, so I'm taking his place. Where are those bastards anyway? After studying her expression, he forgot quickly what happened. Let him get to you. That's a first.
So I did. It was a minor slip-up.
Oh man, Peterson's gonna be pissed.
I know, but I do know where they're heading next.
The Grand Canyon, I know. Darknut's over there. We should probably meet up with him.
Right. Anyway, where is the boss?
Just far enough, school to slow him down. Fortunately, there seems to be one capable of fighting.
Right. Let's hope he wins then.